Can we go, let's go all of that on the move. All of that moving and playing. Going letter J all the way to L. J to L. I don't have it marched yet. Let's get those lower bodies moving. Yeah, not a fast tempo. Make sure their legs are ready for the step sizes.
Do you want sectional feet or?
Yeah, let's do sectional feet, get into this. Just so we're really feeling that tempo before we step off. Here we go, going letter J to L, moving and playing. J to L, moving and playing. Make sure we're applying the correct lower body energy so what we just worked on in the hands can show up. Here we go, J to L, moving and playing. Sectional feet. Cool, check adjust. Check this out. Space here is always large. Make sure we're not letting that open up too much. Yep. Check that pathway, that vector coming here, yeah? And let's reset. Legs are woken up now. Let's get those bodies moving. Quads, a reminder, make sure we're energized with the feet before we enter there, yeah? We're already the train moving. We're kind of hopping on. We're way out in the extremities here. Look at the dome. Always make sure we're subdividing those eights before we come in, yeah? Hearing that rhythm before we play it. Here we go, same thing. J to L, moving and playing, sectional feet. Check, adjust. Yeah, hey, my big thing for especially the flat drums right now is we've got to play just as confidently as we do in the tracking block when we're spread out in this form. Cool, especially on the extremities of the snare line out here and then most of the quads, you guys are usually tucked right between the snares and basses and it's easy to play in time. I can tell we feel just a little less confident here, yeah? Don't get timid with it because we're in these spread out forms. Be aggressive. If anything, we need a little bit more of that, yeah? It's not a faster or slower, it's a confidence in how we're approaching the tempo and approaching the parts, yeah? Yeah. All flat drums, we need to make sure we keep this moving into this direction change. Cool, we've got like 7-stroke into some tap 5s. That tends to slow down. I think a lot of it is because we used to have that large step size. We had to kind of ramp up our energy through that. It's a lot more manageable. Let's make sure we're finishing that, getting our direction change in time from the lower bodies as well. Yeah? Yeah. Reset. Sorry. It's a spot as well we need to keep our taps low and focused, yeah? Let our heights creep up into that direction change. We're watching and not get run over by tubas. Make sure we get the 2 height separation there, yeah? Here we go, same thing. We'll do a couple more of these. J to L, sectional feet. Check, adjust, way better on the spacing. Make sure we're remembering that. And reset, one more of those. Quads without overplaying, we articulate. Get up, the come in there, yeah? It's not that we want to play louder, but if we're all kind of sneaking in, it's hard for us to know if we're in time and know if we're playing together, yeah? So play the heights, play the technique, don't overplay, but make sure we're committing to the articulation so we can hear each other and get that accuracy, yeah? Yeah. Here we go, one more of those. J to L, sectional feet. Check, adjust. Cool. Just make sure we're saving what that energy feels like. Yeah, it's not a lot of brute force energy. It's just that continued sustained energy, especially since we're at the end of a long section of this 164, 166 tempo. You get a little bit of that fatigue because it's not a fast momentum-based tempo. It's a lot of work here. So make sure we're really feeling that energy as we get to the length of this phrase, to the end of this phrase. Yeah? All right, let's grab some water. We're going to set up for our letter C stuff. All right, want to go through our sequence real quick here, get our hands and our minds kind of locked back into this. We're going to do a lot of reps on the move with this just to make sure, again, we're applying what the lower body responsibilities are and how they contribute to the playing. Cool, starting with our stick control check off the left hand, left foot. Cool, the good old starting point check here. As we talked about snares, first right hand triple strokes. Make sure those are accurate and we're ready to go with that. Quads, just be ready to add in, yeah? Here we go, first stick control check. Yeah, so we're talking about the right hands quite a bit here, snares, because it's the hard part. Make sure we're also turning our wrist and placing those lefts as well. That way we're going to get good, accurate 16th notes there. Yeah, some of us, I can tell, are kind of poking, and it's mostly because we're thinking about the rights, which is good. Just make sure you don't forget about the lefts as well. Yeah? Let's add on. Adding on to the first shot before the shot paras, yeah? To that shot. Yep, everyone's in. Adding on. Open up your fours. Yeah, right hand four is pretty tight, Donnie. Last time. Yeah, so in general, just making sure we're letting the drum do a little more work for our four, especially in the flat drums here, or in the snares in particular. A lot of tightness, especially when we get to the right hands. Left hand one is actually pretty decent. Open up that right hand. Quads for us, as we talked about, it's making sure set the dom. Pick up here, making sure we're aligning into that downbeat there, and then that first four has got to be open. Our left hand fours tend to be too tight, and then we find it by the right, yeah? Let's make sure we're open with those fours. Cool, we're adding on to the first 5-lit egg beater, adding on one beat into letter D, adding on. Remember we worked on yesterday, finding our downbeat drag, putting it on the downbeat. Remember we worked on the right hand consistency across that tap space, and then making sure the rhythm stays the same from the tap 5 through that first paradiddle diddle, yeah? Adding on, starting on that stick control check, going through one beat into letter D. Here we go. Find the sounds behind you. Last time. Yeah, it's closer. Reminder, we've got to get through that 7-stroke to get to beat 2 for that accent on the tap 5. So that way we get all 3 sections aligned, because the basses just have the space. They're not going to be late to it, yeah? Make sure we're driving through that. And we haven't done this in a couple days. Can we pull this one back out just real quick? Remember that one? Just making sure we're checking the energy, not over separating the paradiddle littles like we've talked about.
Still 9 to 6.
Yep, whatever we've been doing for the heights on that, yeah. 9 to 6 is how we do that first one at letter D. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool. 9 to 6. Triplets into our paradiddle littles. Check. Left foot. Here we go. Find the release of the paradiddle littles. Last time. Yep, make sure as we talked about, we're getting that first left and the herta of the paradiddle moving. Yeah, that's the tricky part, especially coming out of our tap 5. Going from that into that herta. Yeah, so when we're playing this, it's the check version of that. Make sure we're ready to get that first left in gear. Do that 2 more times, focusing on that first left. Last time. All right, can we go back to our roll check, the one that sets us up for that top roll? Yep, be ready to add on. When we add on, we'll go all the way 1 beat into D.
Yep.
When we add on, we'll go all the way 1 beat into letter D, starting with just that check though. Yeah?
Yep.
Quads, what drum are we starting on?
Drum 1.
Drum 1, here we go. We still the left foot.
Yep.
Here we go. Add on, 1 beat into D. Gotta get to that downbeat for the 7-stroke. Last time. Those hands quick. Snares, we talked about this. Quads as well, coming off our shots, making sure we're not letting those motions, whether it be from our ping shot zones or whatever shots we're playing back to the center. Quads coming off the shots on the spock, back into that 7-stroke. Don't let the lateral motion cause us to be late in the vertical motion. Yeah? Don't be scared of it. Sometimes I feel like we're scared, like, are we going to gap it this time or are we going to put it in time? We're all going to put it in time, yeah? All, was it 14 of the flat drums are going to put that right on the downbeats. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Stuff down here. Grab some water. We're going to put that on the move. Here we go. Moving and playing. 16 counts into letter D. Just stop at D. Don't add the additional count that we do in the checks. Yeah? Just literally stop at letter D with your +1. Here we go. Moving and playing. 16. Check. Adjust. And stand by. Hey, just like we were talking about flat drums getting in this, in that letter J to L phrase, we're like anticipating the direction change and we slow down. That's part of what gets us on these. We're like ready to shift our body. Some of us have a little bit of a difficult direction change, like you've got that wrap around with your feet. Quads, a lot of us have to step back out this way. So make sure we keep that energy in the lower bodies moving as well. It's not just what are the hands doing. Make sure this isn't bogging us down. Reset. Here we go. Same instructions. 16 counts, moving and playing. Check. Adjust. And reset. Was closer with that energy. We got to get everybody on board, though. Everyone's jumping in the pool. Here we go. Same thing. Last time. Check. Adjust. Yep, that's the right idea. All right, let's reset back to C. Once you're there, quick water. Quick water, we're gonna run C to F a bunch of times. All right, let's go letter C all the way to letter F. Letter C all the way to letter F. We got our 2-beat met going. Let's make sure we're ready to drive the feet, drive the hands. Cool. We've done so many check exercises and breakdowns. We know information. Talk about this all the time, being proactive with your mental approach. Thinking ahead, what's coming next? What is coming down the pipeline that I need to be ready for, and how can I set my hands, my body, and my mind for that, yeah? Here we go, letter C all the way to letter F, moving and playing with the Met. That performance energy, first check, adjust. I know we're gonna scatter here. Cool, let's reset.
Before letter E.
Quads, remember we gotta connect what we do in the 6-tuplet paradiddle right off the bat through 16th notes into the triplet roll. I feel like it's not that we're not thinking about those 16ths, but we're really focused on the paradiddle little. We're really focused on the roll, not figuring out how to get from one to the next. So make sure that is locked in. That way we get to the roll together and then we can just continue to maintain, yeah? Of us kind of crush that out and we're kind of having some interpretation issues there. Make sure that's open, stroke it out, make sure that's accurate, and get to the roll together, yeah?
Yeah.
Here we go, same thing, C to F. Cool. Hey, can we set up the arc set that we do in the split stuff? Let's set up where it starts, and I want to integrate snares and quads. So Grace, stay where you're at. Tommy, stay where you're at. Cool. Hey, can we real quickly key into this one? Cool. Our A-B check on the splits. Everybody starting on the check. Bass, this is the 2 bars before letter E. Drum 2 for the quads. Here we go. In spot here. Left foot. Cool. Let's get our ears inwards here. Solidify the check. A's. Those doubles into the pair of snares. Be A's. Switch, B's. Stay articulate, Michael. Everybody's on the part. just a reminder, flat drums, part of this is to make sure we're matching the interpretation between the sections or solidifying kind of how these parts fit together. Part of it is also to put you a little bit on an island. Cool to put different instruments around you so you hear your individual sound a little bit more. Lean into your individual contributions to the sounds. I'm not saying play louder, I'm saying check your individual interpretation of the rhythms, your consistency of the tempo, all those things, yeah? Cool, can we do that same thing, but I want to add on 2 bars into letter E. Cool, so finish, we'll do the same lead in, the track, we'll play our split parts, then we're gonna go 2 bars into letter E. Stop. Cool, I just wanna make sure, especially these next couple things, we've got some split parts, quads are filling in the 16ths, while snares we split them. We have those 9-lit variations, we're gonna kind of work through those. Just make sure we're really solidifying that back in there as well, yeah? Taking the same check, adding 2 bars to the end of it into letter E. Everybody got where we're stopping? Here we go, starting with that same check. Check your individual contribution here. Still with tracking feet as well. Sign. Yeah, hey, bass, that last set of cut-on, that's your crescendo, yeah? We just make that a little more audibly apparent. I'm seeing the hands do that, I'm not hearing as much as I'm seeing, though. Make sure as we crescendo, we're getting a little more oomph behind the stroke, so that way, ba-da-ba-ba-boom, we're leading that in there, yeah? Cool, can we add 1 more bar to that? Zigga-digga-digga-digga-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da, or zigga-digga-digga-digga-digga-digga-digga-da. Cool, adding another bar into that. Again, especially snares, individual contributions and consistency through the split, yeah? Here we go, adding another bar, still with tracking feet. Another bar. Last time. Yeah, hey, so snares, every time we have any sort of ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, quarter note triplet, and then our 9s, what's our tendency? Slow, but mostly we over-separate that space. It's just like our top 5s, we like to over-separate sometimes. Just make sure the quads are filling in all of that first beat. Ba-ga-da-ba-ga-da-ba-ga-da-ba. Cool, we need to make sure we're not late getting into the single strokes there, yeah? Coming out of the split, be aggressive, that first quarter note triplet space, yeah? And then quads, same thing for you, coming out of the singles, getting into that attack of the paradiddle diddle after, again, the same quarter note triplet space, yeah? Because then they're continuing their 9-lets with those 3s, and I can hear if we're not getting those reattacks together, yeah? Yeah. Do the same thing. A couple more times. Nate, don't overdo the tempo and the crossover into that first para. You know what I mean? The split bars, a little too much from you now. Same thing, through the 9-lets. Last time. Maybe a little quick over here coming out of the single strokes into the threes. Cool. Just be aware, as we're talking about these small micro adjustments, they're very, very small adjustments. Cool. We're talking like a half beat of tempo or beat per minute when we're talking about this. We're talking about like a 165.5 versus a 166. Well, it's August. It's finals week. These adjustments are very, very minor. Cool. So don't be too aggressive with it. It's not like, oh my gosh, we're 5 clicks slow here. We've gotten most of that out of here. It's all about these very, very small fine-tuned adjustments, yeah? Yeah. Can we set up the normal setup here, snares and quads? We'll do that same thing here in spot a couple more times, and then we're gonna put this back in context. Hey, so a lot of individual accountability when we're in the integrated form. Keep that same level of individual accountability. Now just really open up those ears and make sure we're finding the section sounds here, yeah? Here we go, same thing, through the 9lets, starting on the split roll check. Last time. Yeah, so there's one thing that sticks out to me right now is digga 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 da. Placing that left hand back down. Cool, I can tell we're thinking ahead to what the 9lets are. We're doing a good job of coming off the drum so we're ready for the singles. We don't always place that left hand back down accurately. It's like digga 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 da. Digga 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 da. Make sure we get that and concretely find that downbeat before then we navigate that next space. Yeah, make sense? Cool, can we do that with show feet? I want to start the check with halftime feet as well. So bucket-a-dugget-a roll, bucket-a-bucket-a roll, bucket-a-bucket-a bucket-a show feet through the part, and then we'll hold when we get to E like we do in context. Make sense? Yeah. Cool, don't worry about like stepping off at the end. We'll just tap it off again too, and mark time, halftime. Make sense? So I want to make sure we maintain that same drive and same energy when we're doing the show halftime feet. Here we go. Same thing, show feet. Better snares. Last time. Cool. All right, grabbing some water. We're going back to letter C. E to F. Keep the slider up back there, Wes. Check adjust. Yep, hey, that's the right idea, especially in the halftime stuff there to the end. Just make sure we're not overly aggressive into letter E. Oh, cool, that's a spot where we can kind of put a little bit on the brakes, not a lot, but make sure we don't let that energy from the paras roll into that there, yeah? Continue to focus on our smoothness on that roll figure at the beginning of the 16 count set as well, especially snares there. Cool, don't be heavy-handed. Cool, especially Donnie, sometimes we talk about that, a little heavy in the front there. Smooth it out, smooth like butter. Reset, let's get another one. Quads, that was way better on the 16th notes between that paradiddle and the roll. Let's save that. Here we go, doing the same chunk, slider down this time. Cadets reset. We're going 1, 8, and out.
A little bit better when we get the letter E snare with a neighbor, right? We got some pushes and pulls on each side. We gotta connect into the snare sound.
Here we go. Last shot. 8 and out from the Met. Yeah, cool. Energy's really, really strong right now. I can tell we're putting our thoughts and our minds in the right spot there. Cool, that's all I continue to ask for. Let's do this. Let's grab some water. We're going to set up the tracking block. Getting into the 200 now. Make sure you come back ready to go. Untitled, tracking feet coming forward. Again. Backwards. Backwards. Last time, in spot. Cool. Nice, just a couple reminders of spots, especially in the drill, but even here, that we need to make sure we're driving through snares. It's that triplet buzz into these, getting into that set that gets us to letter J. Yeah, it's like one of the few things that really needs a lot of drive. A lot of this sits in the hands really well. That buzz and then eighth notes back into the pairs needs a little more drive. Quads, just like we were talking about in SLB with that letter C, attacking that low tap before that upbeat shot. Same thing applies when we come in there, just a different tempo. We're aiming for the shot. We got to get that downbeat of the tap before we get that upstroke into the shot. Yeah, if we get that, I think the shots are going to fall into place. But I hear inaccuracies on the downbeats, and then I hear inaccuracies on the shots. Yeah. Let's get a 4-beat Met. You can put it on 1 here. It's fine. Here we go. Same thing. Tracking backwards. 4-beat Met. Now it's really going to drop in at a random spot. You create the tempo, and we'll see if we get it to line up with the Met, yeah? Yep. Tracking backwards, same chunk. time, in spots. Yeah, hey, so snares that triplet buzz into that eighth note. That time we were a little sluggish there, and we maintained tempo after that, but we were slightly behind those clicks. Cool. That's what I love about doing this over weird time signatures. Is you have no idea when it's going to come in, so you're not listening for it. You only hear it drop in. Yeah. So continue to make sure we're driving through that. We know the physical elements of the drill only makes that more challenging. Yeah. Cool. Hey, we're going to grab some water. We're going to put that in the drill. Do what you need to get your lower bodies ready for that. We're not going to do that full chunk right off the bat, but if we need a little quick stretch, you need a little, do some jumping jacks, whatever you need to do. Make sure the bods are ready. Got DJ Booker on the mix, laying down the beats. All right, we go for I to letter J. I just want to check into these first couple drill sets, making sure we're feeling that tempo. Bass is down that 202 right on, not too quick there. Making sure when we come in, we've got that accuracy, what the bassists have set up, taking that tempo and getting it going from us as well. Yeah? Letter I to letter J. This is moving and playing. I to J, moving and playing. Check. Adjust. Swinging is out this time, bass. Okay. And reset. Here we go. Same thing. I to J. Check. Adjust. And stand by. Yeah, hey, what I really liked about that rep is both bass and snare felt very calm. Even though we're running around the field at 202 beats a minute, that felt very easy to listen to. Basses, that was super smooth with the eighth notes. Snares, when we came in, we had the right energy and it didn't feel frantic to try to play in time. We've got to remember that, yeah? Because that tells everyone else in the corps, like, hey, we're going, but it's going to be easy. We're going to do this the right way, yeah? Reset. Let's do one more of those. Let's make sure it wasn't a fluke. Even though a fluke is the most, was that the most common fish in the sea?
Is it?
Or is that just a random joke from The Office?
No, a fluke was a fish.
Apparently it is. Here we go, same thing, I to J. Check. Adjust. And let's reset. I want to add on to K. Adding on to K. It's what, 2 more sets? Snares what we're leaning into visually last night, watching those pairs, or sorry, those groupings of 3 rotate into the line at letter K, finding our side to sides, evening out the spacing. Yeah? Working together, using those eyes. Here we go. Adding to letter K. I to K. Moving and playing. Check. Adjust. Looking at our side to sides, checking out the drill. And stand by, stand up on this. Well, remember, we're checking out space between the drums here while we're on the move. Yeah, it's the easiest way to check into it. Well, it still tends to be a little bit of a space here. Check into that 5 and 5 and how we're navigating that. And you tend to just be a little more backfield while Tommy's kind of getting that momentum going.
Okay.
Cool. And reset. Here we go, same instructions. Check. Adjust. And stand by. Hear that little swung one in there? Learn about how to do with the feet in those direction changes. Make sure we keep that energy moving through that. Quads, it was a lot closer with the drill and the spacing. Keep an eye on that, yeah? We want both of it. We want the music and we want the drill there. Make sure we're ready to move that last left. Getting down to drum 4, getting into letter K here. Yeah, I know we kind of get stuck over on 3, 1, and 2 with your rounds. Make sure we're ready to shift laterally to get to drum 4. Yeah, we tend to open that out. I don't know if it's because we're stopping here or just because of that lateral motion. Make sure we're ready to get into K in time. Yeah? Yeah. And reset. We're adding to L. Here we go. I to L. Moving and playing to the stabs. Check. Adjust. And stand by. Cool. General consensus. What do we feel at letter K versus the Met? Got a little sluggish, yeah? Let's make sure we're ready to continue that forward momentum with the bodies. Cool. We establish another wide form. We've all got to be aggressive, just like we talked about snares and quads and the arc and pitchfork, yeah? Make sure we're staying aggressive with that tempo. Don't shy away from that challenge. Reset. It's a good recovery. Let's not have that slight dip when we get to letter K. Yeah, Jacob, it's when you go from the larger step size to the smaller that I can tell it's almost like jolting you, so try to smooth that out. So as you start that kind of pinwheel, you have a smaller step size, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're talking about at the beginning.
It's like the second to the third set-ish. It's somewhere in there, but you go from, pretty good step size and then you kind of slam the brakes on.
Yeah.
That's where you have a slight tendency to have that jerk into the hands. Yep. Here we go, same thing, here to L. Check. Adjust. And stand by. Yeah, quads, that time again, that double left's getting us into K, put us behind. And then in that spread form, we were behind the snares, and then it was kind of a recovery from there. So make sure we're moving through that, both hands and feet. That way, it's gonna be accurate versus their snares 3s. Yeah? Again, really hard, difficult listening environment. Just make sure we're staying aggressive with the lower body so we're not having to make a recovery in an already tough situation. Yeah? Here we go, one more of those, we'll grab some water. Hey, everyone, real quick, just think back to when we first learned this drill back in movements, back in Erie, Pennsylvania. I know that was seems like 6 years ago. Think about how hard it was to rep this. Well, we as a staff were very cognizant of we can't do this too much. It's a very physical drill. We don't want to cause any injuries or anything. Now we're able to rep this over and over again and really dig into those depths of what we need out of you guys. Make sure that when you get the opportunity, you're looking as strong as you can. You're showing us how much stronger you've gotten with how you're moving your bodies, how you're carrying your body, and how you're moving from set to set. Yeah? Yeah. Cool. Really fight to make sure that we're not just getting through this. We're not just surviving. We're thriving through this drill. Yeah? Yeah. That's really cool. It's really cool to watch you guys run and gun through all of this. Let's see if we can get just a little bit better body carriage. That way the hands can be exactly what they need to be. Yeah? Yeah. Here we go. We're doing one more for water. Check. Adjust. Yeah, really good, strong +1 there, Josh. It's probably the tallest I've seen you there. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, snare's really focused on that last shot before the 4-count move. Cool, that's what we want. If we do that, no one up top's ever gonna have anything to say about it, yeah? All right, let's grab some water. I wanna do a couple reps, like maybe 2 or 3, letter I all the way to the end. Yep. All right, get your lines ready. We're going all the way to the check, adjust. Also, just as we've extended the phrase, we talked about this a little bit last night. Boom. Getting into letter M, we need to make sure not only that quarter note space is driving, but the paradiddles that get us to that beat 4, bass filling in that 4, and you guys are also propelling us forward there as well. Yeah? And then from there, all those 5-count sets, we keep the lower bodies energized, especially snares, flexing out, coming back in, going to the arc, and then that last 8 coming here. Yeah? I think we all felt we lost some time that last set into the hold. So make sure you finish all the way across the finish line. We're not slumping across the end. Yeah? Reset. Quads, it's been a lot better at letter K. Let's make sure we maintain that. All right, let's do 2 more of those. 1 more with the mat, 1 without. And we're gonna get off of this. Here we go, same thing, here to the end. Check, adjust. Look at that sort of front of back, if you will. We're in the diag, making sure we're in line with it. Yeah, spacing's getting better. Make sure we're not in front or behind of the diag. All right, reset. One more time. One more time. Snares, I think there's like a slight bit more that we can scrape away when we're doing all these box rotations of figuring out how we fit in the sound behind us. As you move from the front to the back, think about how you contribute from the back. As you move from the back to the front, think about how you need to find those sounds as you rotate around, yeah? We do it kind of into letter J through the first couple sets of J. We do that getting into letter M as well. Cool, I know there's a lot physically happening. Let's tune in those ears just a little bit more so we get every little detail. We get that balance and blend there as well, yeah? Yes. Here we go, last time, 8 and out, I to the end. Everybody's going. Adjust. Yeah, flat drums, just gotta make sure we're all on the same page at letter K. I'm not sure if the quads were fast or the snares were slow at letter K, but we had a little bit of a separation there, yeah? Gotta have big ears, gotta make sure we're connecting to each other and we're agreeing on that tempo. Willing to bet we were probably a little slow here, maybe a little bit on the top side here. We kind of know our section tendencies, have some more open rhythms here, tend to get bogged down on our threes at letter K. Let's kind of meet in the middle, let's make sure we're all on the same page, yeah? I want one more, I want one more. We got a better one in us. Here we go, last time, letter I to the end. Yeah, that's what we need, guys. That's probably the most locked in I've heard that without the Mets, especially being able to stand back there, super locked in this gigantic spread form that we're in, yeah? That's what we need. Remember that energy, remember that drive, remember what we just did there. We got to do that to set up the rest of the chord, yeah? All right, hey, let's take like 2 minutes, then we're going to get back in. We're going to be working some letter D to letter G in Adrenaline City. Hey, can we set up the last shape? I'm going to track this. Can we set up the last shape we make at letter G in Adrenaline City? So kind of the offset gridded form that we have there.
Okay.
Offset. Cool, let's do this tracking. So bass drums, go ahead and face front for me. Let's go tracking forward. Same thing. Big beat 3. Seconds to do this. I want to set up what we call a whack track.
Yeah.
Stand next to somebody that is not in your section. Let's get onto or split. Go quickly.
Hey, I'll go over there.
Hey, Gilly.
Let's get 5 people
Don't
to
bang your
line. I want you to really focus on your contribution, your tempo, your accuracy of your rhythms, and your playing. Make sure we're using the right technique for all the skill sets. Yeah?
Yeah.
Here we go. Tracking backwards. Same thing. 3s check into the tag twice. Checks. Now in the back line, front line, stay where you're at, or move forward, that works too. Here we go, tracking backwards. A couple more times of this, we'll put this back in context. Here we go. All right, set up that gridded form a little bit tighter like we started on this check. Aiden, you're overreaching for the release out of the threes, and that makes you crush out of that as well. Bah! Should crescendo to that and then be kind of in context with that crescendo. Does that make sense? So make sure we're not going... See? Do that. And then you're there, yeah? All right, here we go. Same thing in this form. Now, you still have to have that same level of individual accountability, that same accuracy to your tempo, your timing, the technique in the hands, but now we're fine-tuning with the sounds around us. Yes? Yep. Here we go. Same thing, going forwards a couple times. We're putting this in the drill. Don't rush the check. Forwards. Last time, in spot. Cool, relax. Yeah, just make sure you're not starting to check hand speed behind the threes a little too quickly. Coming out of this. Cool, you tend to be a little crushed and then you open it up after that. So make sure that first three's open. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da. Going from kind of all with one hand to alternating. Let that open up. One more.
The left hand when we get both hands in context, right? I feel like sometimes we kind of buzz out that left hand. Really pay attention and make sure it's connecting to that right hand three as well.
All right, we're grabbing some water. We're setting up letter F in the drill. All right, we're doing 4 counts of 8th note check. First 4 bars of letter F in spot, tracking feet. 4 counts of 8th check. First 4 bars of letter F in spot, tracking feet. Here we go.
Let the touch right away.
Four bars. Last time. Cool. Hey, I'm choosing my words very carefully here. Flat drums, when we get to these, getting into your first putter, can we play more deliberately into the drum head? I'm not talking harder, I'm talking more exact. So that way when we get on the move and we've got that challenging drill, those rotations, we're gonna know that we're accurate with those quarter note triplets. Sometimes we start with this in spot and we're able to get away with this. We're a little inaccurate, we're not having kind of the environmental and physical demands interfere with that. We're building some bad habits. Again, I'm not pounding the drums, I'm being exact with what I'm playing that. I always picture if I'm in the back of the orchestra and they're ending a really, really soft, beautiful tune and all I've got is one tiny triangle note, how exact I would be playing that note. Cool? Now we're doing that on a marching snare drum running around the field at 194 beats a minute. We're being that exact and deliberate with how we're playing those quarter note triplets, yeah? More often than not, when these are bad, it's because these were bad. Getting to those, yeah? So let's make sure we're playing deliberately through the quarter note triplets so we know we get to and we're establishing the check for the split fours, yeah?
Yep.
In spot, a couple more times. Pick up your feet, please. Last time. Let's make sure we're getting to that first putter down here. Is that boogity-ba? Cool, moving through Tom on those corner triplets. All right, we're doing the same thing, stepping off when we get to letter F, moving and playing. Still with the 4 count, 8th note check. Here we go, moving and playing, starting with the check. Check, adjust. Yep, looking at our front to backs, and reset.
Connection to the center on this side, not again.
How flat can you keep your drum through all of these moves? Cool, solid playing surface so the hands can do what they need to do. How flat can you keep your drum? Here we go, same thing, on the move. Check, adjust, and reset. Donnie and Alex, as much as you guys can relax your necks. Cool, I can tell you guys are really working hard to stay in control of the drums. Make sure we don't get this, because that's gonna translate down the arms into the hands. Cool, we're engaged here in the torso, the midsection, active from the waist down. Try to keep all this as relaxed as possible, yeah? It's one of those things you don't realize, I used to do it too. I was a quad drummer. I did that all the time, trying to keep my drums flat. Try to keep this relaxed as much as you can, yeah? Here we go, a couple more times, we'll add on. Same thing. Check, adjust. Yeah, pretty good control on our 9-lits. Let's reset. I want to add on to G. We're going all the way to G. Here we go, with the check, going all the way to G, moving and playing. Check, adjust. Yep, left foot should be 3 steps in front of where we just were. Yeah, hey, so flat drums, actually snares in particular, what do we need to move a little more on? Getting to that paradiddle little. It's another quarter note triplet and 2 groupings of 9-lits we've got to move through time, yeah? Reset. It's also a direction change, there's a footfall change. There's a lot of reasons why that should be slow. Don't let them be the reason why we are slow. we go. Same thing. Check. Adjust. I was closer. I heard people get sluggish. The single strokes into that left. Don't open it up to try to then make up for that space. Reset. Here we go. Same thing. Check. Adjust. I was closer. Reset. Last time on this. We're putting this back in context from the hold before D after this.
The nylets in the center pod here. I know people are going too fast. We'll get individual stick outs on the nylets in the center here.
Here we go. Same thing. Last time. Check. Adjust. And relax. You guys got anything?
Yeah, some people still aren't connecting those lefts. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and then getting to that beat 3 like TJ was talking about. Some people are kind of gapping those lefts, and then we're in recovery mode for the rest of the 3s. It's really, really important. We got to hit that beat 3 right there after the first 2 counts. 3, 3, 3,
All right, we're resetting back to the hole before D. Once you're there, step down, grab some water. Make sure we're not sluggish to get that turnaround of the hand speed. Also, flat drums, making sure we're driving the singles before the last grouping of doubles. Getting into the step off. That way we know we're setting up the basis for good tempo maintenance getting into letter D so they can kind of keep things rocking, yeah? Let's take just the hold before D to the step off, go into our -1 to +1, all that stuff. It's really key into the tempo maintenance here in this hold. Here we go. Yeah, and hey, we got to finish these out before we shift gears to the 16th notes on. Finish those triplets, and then we're going to shift from 3rd gear into 4th gear, triplets to the 16th notes. That makes sense? Finish that out. I think we're going to have better success on the 16ths. Here we go. Like 2 more times. All got to go together now. Come on. Everybody's getting in the pool. Last one. Yeah, just continue to focus on those spots there. If we all key into that, it really helps make sure this is in time. Yeah, the horn line's just playing a bunch of long notes here, but this is what establishes our tempo getting into letter D, yeah? If we don't hand it off well to the basses, that's when things are tricky. Cool, we're going here. We're going all the way to letter G. All the way to letter G. Moving and playing. Let's get those bodies moving, especially snares at letter E. Show me what you got here, yeah? Here we go. Hold before D, all the way to G. Marching and playing. Let's go slider down. Check. Adjust. Yeah, hey, we've got to be more proactive inside of the rep there. I feel like a lot of the same things that we've said for the last week, week and a half, are things I would be about to say to you right now. Cool, so I don't think we need any feedback. I want us to reset. I want you to think through your checklist. You being proactive in this chunk means what to you? What is your checklist? What do you think about to find the success? Here we go. Same instructions. Hold before D all the way to G. Proactive mindset. Thinking about it before we get to it. Here we go. Check. Look at that. Right foot, adjust. And stand by, stand up on this. Flat drums, reminder, 5 counts leading into letter F. We've got to continue to keep that moving so we arrive at F together. Yeah, that's where we're joining forces, finishing out the snare thing, quads add back in, and then we align at letter F with all the checks that we do. We've got to make sure we're moving through that bar before F together. Yeah, snares, that's when we're getting the fatigue of some of the drill coming across. We've got to physically make sure our legs are under us correctly so we can align at letter F. Yeah? Reset. Quads, remember, driving tempo, playing articulately the first bar when we come in. Yeah.
If we hear the first 10 counts at letter E, guys, what do you think that is? Body control, tempo? Tempo. Right. Maybe a little bit of both in there. All right, we just gotta get a little bit more, especially the first attack. I feel like we're not all aligning with step size and just tempo control on that. We're gonna need to go after that a little bit more.
All right, here we go. Here's our 3 reps. You got quarters, semis, finals. We're doing 1 more with the mat and then 2 without. Hold before D to letter G. Once we're done with that, you're on dinner. Here we go. Here's quarters. With the mat, beat 2 and 4, slide her down. Check. Adjust. And reset. Here we go. For semis, 8 and out. Check. Adjust. Yeah, quads, that was better. The notes on the Spock are mostly for you to set up there. Cool. Judge up front's probably never going to hear them. It's not to say we shouldn't care about them, but that's what allows us, coming out of the bass feature, the weird listening environment, allows us to solidify that tempo. So again, make sure we're playing articulately, not only so we're playing with the right technique, but also so we're able to align with each other. Yeah? Yeah. Good. Reset. All right, last one, finals, right here. all the way to G, starting at the hold. 8 now. Check. Adjust. Cool. So, again, that's all the time that we have for. We're going to be on dinner here. When we come back, we're probably going to review some of what we've done today, checking into the tempos, making sure we're ready to go for ensemble. This is your last night ensemble. Your last ensemble rehearsal under the lights. Cool. So make sure we're bringing the energy, make sure we're ready to go, doing what you need to do during dinner. So we come back and we're providing the core with not only a lot of energy, but a consistent energy. Like we gave a lot last night in the run through, which was great, but it wasn't the same that we did all through rehearsal, and it threw off the rest of the core in some spots. Probably the first time we've been a little quick on some tempos, and some people weren't ready for it. So again, part of the reason we do the reps we do and do all these rehearsals is to make sure that everyone, just like we talk about inside the snare line, inside the quad line, inside the battery, can trust what the tempo is going to be. You've got to do that consistently in ensemble so the core, the horn line, the front ensemble, the color guard can trust what we're going to provide from the tempo perspective. Does that make sense? Yeah. Whatever energy you give in the run through, you've got to reverse engineer that and do that every rep in rehearsal tonight. Yeah? It's your last chance to do it. It's your last full ensemble block under the lights. Let's make sure we come in ready mentally, physically, and we're ready to throw down. Yeah? Yes. Really excited to see what we bring tonight, but let's make sure we're ready for it. Yeah? Yes. All right, we'll see you guys after dinner.
Yes, when we come back early,
probably yes.
E stuff. Okay, work this stuff right here.